In today's studio vlog, I will be making some art displays to restock on Amazon Handmade. Hi, I'm Alan, and if we're just meeting, I'm a dad of two young kids, and around my day job, I make and sell kids' art displays and photo displays, kind of like the one behind me, that I've been selling on Etsy since 2018, and more recently I've been selling them on Amazon Handmade as well since 2021, end of 2021. And I've never really kind of put that much effort into the Amazon side, mainly because initially it's quite hard to get traction, especially without ads. And I was finding I didn't really have time to look after the ads, and of course that can waste a lot of money. So I decided to not focus too much on it. Etsy generally kept me busy because I do this around my day job and family stuff, so there's only so much I can make, and sometimes it would just things would go out of stock on Amazon, and it would take me a while to make things and send them off. But recently I switched off ads because I noticed it was costing a fair amount and I wasn't really getting any sales. And just so you know, my Handmade, I do have brand registry because for some reason I got trademarked the Peggy Picks company name, business name, a while back. But yeah, it turned out to be handy because on Amazon, if you can prove that you're the owner of the brand, then only you can sell that brand. So that also kind of gives you more, well, I think it does anyway. You can have more kind of branding for your product page. And let's just say I've not really spent that much time on that, so it's probably not the best. But people have ordered, and over what 21, 22, 2 and a bit years, there's been 127 displays ordered, which isn't bad given that it's like basically no effort I'm putting in, and to begin with, I had no reviews. So I think customers were buying, either they came across Peggy Picks through Etsy or social media, which again I'm not really active on at all at the moment. But I just thought, maybe I'm going to restock this time and this year, just put a bit more effort in, because there seems to be some traction. People are ordering without any advertising. That's kind of the perfect place you want to be, because advertising can cost a lot, and if you're not careful, result in not many orders, if any. So I thought, right, I'm going to restock now. Actually, I should actually start painting. But yeah, so quite popular, like these gold star displays. So there's like a pair of stars on each display. But I don't have enough of the stars ready, so I'm just gonna I start with these MDF blanks, and the first coat I just do by hand. It's just some white acrylic paint to prime the wood. But yeah, so I thought there's some momentum's building, so I might as well not just let it go, because you might know that a lot of these selling platforms, your ranking, your product ranking, sales recency has a lot to do with it. So you need what they call sales velocity, and your stuff needs to keep selling in order for it to rank higher and appear higher on search pages. Ideally, you want it on the first page, at the most second page, because people just not really gonna go and click, well, maybe I do sometimes if I'm after something particular, but mostly you're not going to go into page 30 to look for something like. So I thought I should really restock and send a few displays in. And what normally happens is, I think I wanted to restock probably a couple of months ago now, and I made some of the common parts, shall I say, of my displays, the wood and twine part that these shapes stick onto, but I haven't got round to sending any off. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do a couple of each of the popular sellers. There's not that many on Amazon compared to my Etsy shop. But I just thought, well, let's just send them in, because if people are looking for them and they're not there, they can't buy them, so that's no good. So I'm just gonna prepare a few. We'll see how I go. I might have to do this over a course of a few days, but just like a couple of each, pack them and send them off. And if they sell, they sell. And if they don't, at least I'm not having loads in the warehouse clocking up storage fees. Not that the storage fee is too high. I think even at peak season, it's like 9p or something per item per month to have my displays in the warehouse, because they're so small. Don't know if I got a box. So I basically packaged them something like that. And the whole idea when I started was I wanted something small, because I think this is now this handmade business is my second attempt at e-commerce, and the first one I actually sold on Amazon, but not the handmade. But I went on a course for a few days, and anyway, ended up selling baby towels, a bit customized from China with branding and boxes, and then for some reason sent them to sell in the US, and paid like a checking company to inspect the goods at a factory in China, and then another inspecting company in America somewhere to check the incoming goods before they were sent off to Amazon. And I was just like, God, I don't know why I did that. It's just, you're basically making, everyone else is making money but you. So I wound that down, because I just thought maybe if you had enough patience and money, you could probably build up a brand like that. But I was just thinking, well, it's not. I always believe that if you're doing like a side business, it really helps if it's something you're interested in or passionate about. Otherwise, you just won't have the motivation, especially when you're really tired after work, or with kids. Anything can happen. You won't get the motivation to go on. And I was already thinking, like, what are we doing? We're just earning, I don't know, a few pounds at most, at best, from each sale, after advertising and all the shipping and storage and all the rest of it. And I just thought, no, this isn't good. And we used my daughter as a model, because she was a baby when she started. And I thought, well, what happens when she grows up? Like, we won't have a model, and it's just going to be, I don't really want to go and find like child models and get a studio and photograph them in bath towels. And then how many variations can you do on that? And then it becomes kind of the same thing. And it's like whole social media as well. It's like, I found it really hard to think how to promote the brand and the product. I wound that down and just kind of sold the remaining stock, reduced it, and just basically almost at cost, just getting rid of it. And took it as a learning. I learned a lot actually, because those were quite big boxes like that, and fairly weighty, because they were really good thick towels. But I just thought, let's do the next thing, something a lot kind of cheaper to transport and store, and smaller. And I kind of fell into the handmade business by accident, because obviously we'd spent a fair amount on the course and then sourcing the products, private label, and I just thought, no, this time around we don't really want to invest a lot. So I thought, I can make. And then originally these started off as photo displays, because I had one in the hallway, and a few friends who came said, that's a good idea. So I thought, let's just try it. There's no, when you're making, as long as your materials don't cost like loads, I'm not using precious metals or rare hardwoods or anything. So I just thought, let's make some and see. And that's when I kind of discovered Etsy, because I didn't really know about it before, because I don't really think about buying so many handmade things. I do now, obviously, but back then, I'd just get shampoos and soaps and whatnot. At best, get it from Lush, but not to the extent of Handmade, until you become aware of all the nasties they add in to what you can get in a supermarket. So it's like, okay, yeah, it's probably best not to smother yourself in carcinogens. But so that's when I kind of discovered Etsy and gave it a go, and had no clue what I was doing initially with the photo displays, but someone ordered, and took me the whole night to package that one order. But it gradually grew and more sales were coming in. And then I thought, oh, this is good. It was kind of paying, some beer money, and then it built up more, and it's like, I thought, oh, this is actually paying my mobile phone bill. And then after that, it was like covering more bills, and then maybe at a pinch, like all the bills. And it's like, oh, this is worth doing, because I really enjoyed design, tech, and crafts in school, and my current day job's not a creative thing. It's all very heavily regulated, so you don't get any. You got to do things by the rules, basically, and so it kind of gives me a nice like creative escape, just in the evenings and weekends, just to do something more crafty and artsy. Anyway, our photo display in the hallway ended up, because my daughter, when she was a bit bigger, went to nursery and came back with all this art. So, and we just ended up hanging her art and birthday cards and all that kind of thing on this display. So I thought, oh, I should maybe like design some more like child-friendly ones with some like fun shapes on the end, and see if people would buy them as kids art displays. And they did. So I was like, oh, this is good. Of course, like come 2020, around about then, the pandemic hit, and online sales increased a lot because of that, because obviously people couldn't go shopping in stores so much. So I think that really helped to kind of give me a boost, because lots of people obviously want to make their homes nice, because you're spending so much time at home, and put all this kids art that they churn out somewhere. So yeah, that's basically how kind of Peggy Picks art displays grew, and I'm now, I think, kind of in the more recent years, we've kind of gone back to normal levels of online selling, and especially in the UK, the cost of living is becoming a really big issue for most people. Everything from like food to like groceries, it's just like mad. Energy bills just gone up like a lot. Probably I'm not getting as many orders as I used to. It's still really good. I'm still like really amazed and really grateful when people order, especially what if you consider like quieter times of year, like now in March. It's still okay. It's still a reasonable amount of orders coming in. But I just thought, this year I really want to try and do a bit more, and think, well, if there's some momentum at Amazon already, let's do that. And they sent some email. I think they just opted me in. I can now sell in, I think, mainland Europe countries using the fee, which I don't know if they started to charge, the monthly seller's fee, because when I signed up for Handmade, they were doing a promotion where they waived the monthly fee, which is, I think, £25-30, something like that. I need to check, because maybe they started to charge now, which is even more reason to get some sales. Otherwise, you're just paying for nothing. So maybe I can look into some other countries, and I definitely want to have a go at sending to the US, because on Etsy, a lot of customers are surprisingly patient, because the post these days can take weeks, even airmail, just to send like what's just basically a large letter to the States. But people are amazingly patient, and I do get a fair amount of customers from the US, and I think that's just because of the size of the country and the number of people. I think it's probably the main customer base on Etsy, so it makes sense that I would get most of my orders from the US. So maybe I can look at sending, as a trial, a load of like the best sellers on Amazon UK to Amazon US, because I'm sure for everyone who's ready to wait, up to a couple of weeks sometimes for a display, there's people who just want it in a couple of days, especially if it's for a present. And sometimes they'll message me and say, oh, can you expedite it? I'm like, not really, because like, even if we track it, and we've done this before, we sent it tracked, which is super expensive compared to just regular airmail, and it doesn't get any faster. It just tells you that it's stuck in customs, or stuck somewhere. Yeah, so that's why I'm doing this now. And I haven't really blogged properly before. I started the Handmade YouTube channel like, when did I start it? Last year, 2023. And they say you're supposed to be consistent, but when you have a baby, I think just making it through each day and each week is good enough. So I haven't really posted many videos, and the ones I have kind of been talking head and review things. So I thought, oh, it'd be fun to actually do more of like vlogging content. So hopefully you guys find this good. I usually watch a lot of these kind of things when I'm working, like on my laptop, just as some company, because I don't really have any handmade friends, shall we say, especially guys. This doesn't seem to be a very guy, not many guys do this, let's say, that I know of anyway. So if you are, and you're like local, I'm in Surrey, UK, in England, so if you're around, maybe like, you know, you can form a group. But if not, it's still, I just thought, yeah, it's really tough to kind of, you know, write scripts and, you know, help others with my knowledge that way, because I just find it, you know, to fit that in on top of everything else. So I thought, no. Got a bird feeder on the window, and I just scared off some doves. But I just thought, well, maybe we'll try this, just for fun, and you can see the process perhaps. And yeah, if you do have questions, do comment, and yeah, I'll be happy to answer them. And yeah, I'll stop here for now because I've done my, let's see if they stick. Oh yeah, they stick. The first coat of white paint, and then the next one will be 2 coats of gold, which I'd put on by airbrush, just so that there's no brush marks. And then I will start putting together some displays, and probably not today, maybe, but let's see how we get on. Actually, no, because the gold needs to dry. I don't want to send like tacky, you know, if the paint's still tacky, I don't want to ship that off in case something happens to in the box and I get a bad review. So yeah, we'll pick up at the next step. I'll see you then. Alright, so while the stars are drying, I thought I might as well prepare some other displays, because I made these like ages ago. I even got as far as putting the pegs and boards ready, but as you can see, they've just stayed in a drawer for a few weeks. So I've got to prepare the boxes first. So yeah, what I really like about Amazon Handmade is they have like a vetting process. So what's happening now on Etsy is you're not supposed to resell. You can have production partners, but the whole idea is you're supposed to sell your own designs. But definitely there's stuff there which is basically blatantly reselling, and they're not kind of taking them off, or at least maybe what's happening is with the number of new sellers coming on, the number of resold goods is coming onto the system more than they're able to check it all. And at the same time, maybe maybe they want to leave it on a little bit at least, because Etsy have shareholders these days and they want their return. So I think it's a way just to get the volume of sales higher, maybe. Just a cynical thinking, and that way they still get their commission. Yeah, so I'm currently doing a program to redevelop my website, because it's pretty bad, and I haven't really. I've had two orders off my website. I don't promote it because it's not in a good state. So the fact that 2 customers have actually managed to check out and buy something off there is amazing. But yeah, I want to do that because obviously the danger of relying on platforms like Etsy, Amazon, and whatever is they can cut you off sometimes through no fault of your own. So it's good to have a backup to send customers to be able to order from you. But anyway, that's another story. Where was I? Oh yeah, so I make these labels. Oh, that's what I was saying, because I've recently had a mini rebrand and come up with a fresher, more modern looking label, and yeah, so I make those. Although I don't understand why Cricut, if you ask it to add bleed for the labels, so there's no white space around the label when you stick it on the box, it's just black. It's like, why is it black? Surely it should all be like blue, so when you cut it out, there's no kind of black edge. I don't know what's worse, to have a white edge of the paper or a black edge, which is even more obvious. But anyway, I'll sort that out another time. I have a plan to make it like a sticker sheet, and then the background is going to be blue, and then I don't need bleed, and in theory that will stop that weird stuff happening. Where was I? Oh yeah, so Etsy are letting on, or intentionally or not, there's lots of resellers, which doesn't help the whole handmade uniqueness artisan thing, but hey, that's how it is. But Amazon, on the other hand, they really vet the handmade sellers, right? I had to submit a video of my production process. Maybe if I can find it, I think it's on an old phone. I don't know if I just edited it all on phone, because it's just really rough, isn't it? It's just to say, look, I actually make this in my house, and here's the equipment, here's the paints, blah blah blah. And I submitted that, and then they approved me into handmade category. So that's good, because they vet you. I even had to have an interview to open a selling account, and they need to see like you waving around your driving license, so they can see it's not a fake document and stuff. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a knife. So Amazon do really vet the handmade, but I'm not sure if customers think of Amazon for handmade stuff. So when you go on the homepage, there's just loads of products, right? It's like obviously stuff you've looked at before and stuff they think you might be interested in. And I think sometimes there is the handmade like logo appears, but I don't know if that's people's like first consideration when they're going on Amazon. I think they just want some stuff quick if they've got Prime membership, and at a reasonable price, isn't it? That's kind of the motivation. I'm going there to look for something handmade, but maybe it's changing. I mean, it's been going on for quite a few years, so. But regardless, if customers are ordering my stuff, then I don't care. I do put a note inside to say, oh, I've made you this item. But I think, if people are buying, I'm making. That's the general attitude I'm having, because it's better to sell some than none, right? That's my thoughts. I know some creators are very passionate, and they should be, because although this is craft, it's not exactly really technical compared to, like, I don't know, I've seen people make jewelry and the process for that, and all kinds of things, and artists and creating their illustrations and things. I think it's incredible. But yeah, so this is quite simple crafts. So yeah, I wonder if Amazon will keep up the handmade. Are you like on Amazon Handmade? And if you are, just let me know, please, like what your thoughts are and what your experience are, because I haven't researched in recent years, but when I was signing up originally, I did see there's some sellers that are massive and obviously selling significant amounts of their stuff, which is great. So obviously the potential's there, but I think they might be just selling that on Amazon and not, I know on their product page, obviously it's like, yes, we're handmade and local and, you know, ethical and all the good stuff, but I think the customer just sees a nice item and buys it, right? So, but anyway, regardless, as I was saying, if people are buying, then I think that's all that matters for the most part, depending on what your business goals are and your outlook. So yeah, so I'll make these, or I've made these. I need to pack these, I should say. I don't even know if I have like the Amazon ASIN labels. If I've got an example. No. But yeah, so each product. So I do these. Oh, I haven't taken this. This is how good I am at talking and doing at the same time. It's not so good. But so for Amazon, I don't do seller fulfill. I let Amazon do the fulfillment through their FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon, which is why I need to send these off and then they warehouse them. So at the moment, I just do UK. Unless, like, I think Europe, they might be able to ship them over. Like in the UK, we can buy stuff from European sellers, and it's really quick. It's like a couple of days, and you know it's arrived. So the reverse might be true. So yeah, for Amazon, I do FBA, and recently I did a calculation to see for another project. I shouldn't really be starting another project, but I was comparing the cost of selling, say, a £20 item. Oh, I'll tell you what is it? Like a camera strap, for on Amazon, Etsy, eBay, and via your own website like Shopify, and the cost of, you know, the commission that Amazon take, plus their fulfillment fee for FBA isn't too bad. I mean, it's only slightly more than if I was selling on Etsy. And if I'm selling on Etsy, I need to take into account the postage price of the item, and I've got to go and post it, although that's not too big a deal. I post almost every day. I just chuck it into the postbox even. So I don't need these ones, I need this one. So it's not actually that much, and if you think, once you've actually made the stuff and sent it to them, when the order comes through from the Amazon customer, they pack it and ship it, and you know it's on them. It's on them to get it safely to the customer. So, you know, if it's lost or damaged, then they kind of insure and they'll just reimburse you for anything that's broken or lost. But they also deal with the customer service side, which can be good and bad, because they're always going to side with the customer, right? They're not going to go, oh no, it's your fault, because they want to have that reputation as being amazing customer service. That's like Amazon's, or one, or if not their main motto is all about, you know, amazing customer experience. So yeah, so they look after customers, so you don't have to worry. You know, the worst thing is when you get on Etsy, when you get a message, you're like, oh, what is it? Is it like, where's my stuff? Or usually it's kind of have, I don't know. Most recently it was like one display I made is clouds, and they're like, can I have that in pink? So I said, yeah, I can make it in pink. So messages like that I don't mind, but when they're like, oh, where's my stuff? And then it's like, oh no, you've got to go and see if the tracking and all that kind of thing. So for for the FBA fee, I think it's quite reasonable, to be fair. So that's another reason why I'm going to stock back up, because before that comparison, I used to think that Amazon and plus the FBA bit was like really expensive. I think if we take out ads, obviously if you don't worry about the cost of ads, because that can be a lot, then it's actually all right. It's worth doing, because I have on Etsy like a lead time. I basically make everything to order. I can do it quickly. I've got the process sorted. I'm supposed to have stock, but obviously with a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old and a day job, I don't have that much time to just sit there and make stock, which I guess is a good thing because that means I'm making orders that have come in. So I guess if I had loads of time to make stock, then that means that there aren't so many orders. So yeah, I guess it's a good thing actually. But where was I? I've lost my train of thought. Let's just do this. That's what happens when I try and focus on too many things at the same time. Where was I? Oh yeah, so I just thought let's just restock Amazon and try and maybe if I pay a bit more attention and not let stock go out of stock so often for so long, it's quite bad actually, then maybe the momentum would be even better because people buy my stuff and then it goes out of stock, and that's bad because you're kind of dropping. I think every product you get like a ranking. They actually give you a number so you can see how well your product is in any category. And yeah, I think it just gradually drops. Yeah, so we'll give it a go. There's no harm. Just get it sent off. But yeah, that's one thing though. I think that's one thing that frustrates me is, and it might be because of my relatively like low number of sales historically on Amazon. They might not prioritize my stuff, but when you so if you've not done it before, you basically get you package all your displays and you say on the system, you say I'm going to send you 4 of these, 2 of these, 1 of those, or whatever it is, and then they take the weight and the dimensions of the package, and then they have preferred like couriers. So is it UPS? Yeah, so for me it's UPS, which is really good because I can basically walk 10-15 minutes to the newsagent and they'll take my parcel. And it's amazing because I think the volume of shipments they do with UPS and all their other partners, they get really good rates, and it just, for like a massive 2 kg parcel, it's like not even £3 I think sometimes. I'm just think, wow, it's amazing. So that bit's good, but the bit that's not so good is once the parcel's got to there, it can take ages for it to be processed and for your stuff to be made available. So that's either because I'm not a priority, which is understandable because I'm not like some massive, not giving them loads of revenue, and or it could just be that they're really busy. I think the last time I restocked was towards the end of last year, and that's always loads of people, obviously for the Christmas rush, they're busy sending in shed loads of stuff, so it could have been that as well. But yeah, there was one time where for ages nothing happened, and I wrote to customer services, said what's going on, and then like remarkably the next day, ching, everything was available. So I think just the sheer scale of the place, you can imagine the warehouses and my little tiny boxes, I think sometimes things can just get lost or hidden and forgotten accidentally. Yeah, so there's the blocks. So that's how the customer sees it when they... Is that getting focus behind my head? That's how the customer will see those ones. And then I'll put in an instruction sheet with like safety information, and then I add there's a little note just to say thanks for your order kind of thing, and I just sign it off with my name, just so that if they don't realise it's a handmade thing, it's just nice to know that it's a handmade thing. Okay, so I'm going to do white stars, gold stars, although I need to wait for, I have to paint and let those other ones dry, because I want to send in more than one, because gold is actually probably like the most popular thing. Teal stars and grey stars and the clouds, and I think that would be it. I don't want to go crazy because let me get some stuff. Oh man, so I've made these backings, the string and the wood that sticks to the wall, ages ago, but I just not got around to doing it. And for Amazon, I do a very strong self-adhesive pad because I don't want them coming off the wall and people going, it's rubbish. And then Amazon, you get scored on so much stuff. So speed of shipping, that's down to Amazon because I let them fulfill. So that's one less headache for me, like delays of Royal Mail or whatever. But yeah, customer satisfaction is really a hot topic. So you don't want complaints, basically. So if and I'm sure if you shopped on Amazon and you've returned something, you give a reason, right? Why you're returning. So if the reason's like the quality is not good enough, or it broke, or not as described, or anything like that, that's not good. And you can't have too many things like that per set period of time. I've forgotten however long, but yeah, basically the less you have of that, the better the health of your account. So yeah, that's why I have a lot stronger pads. So the ones I use for Etsy are easier to remove if you need to. Whereas these can remove, but I don't market them as easy to remove because I don't want them falling off the wall potentially. Usually falling off the wall is people, you stick something, it's got to be on a smooth surface, right? You can't put it on really like rough, broken, flaky paint and go, it's come off, it's rubbish. It's like, it's not going to stick on that, is it? Or they've just redecorated, and fresh paint, you need to let it dry, like really thoroughly dry, before you stick anything onto it, because the moisture that's still coming off the paint is going to make whatever you're sticking on come off. So I've had that a couple of times, but at least with Etsy I can communicate with the customer better, or the customer knows, or they seem to know that, alright, you're buying from Alan, me, or whoever. There's that connection with the seller. But I think on Amazon you don't get that. It's very much Amazon is not the owner, but it's Amazon's customer, and Etsy's customers are Etsy's customer, but Etsy give you more of a connection to the customer, which is the whole benefit of the Handmade platform. So yeah, you basically don't get much of a chance to put things right on Amazon. They'll just refund the customer and you get a black mark on your account. So yeah, so my big aim originally, when my daughter we were expecting my daughter for our first child. She's going to be 7 soon, so it's quite well. I used to commute hour plus each way. I've had several jobs over the years, but they've all been quite a commute. Even if not a lot of miles, just rush hour traffic, even if you leave early, can be a long time. Roadworks and accidents, it's just a lot of time on the road. So I thought, I don't want to be away from home so much and miss out on my kids growing up. Once they're older, they're not going to want to spend so much time with you. They've got their friends and whatever other interests they're doing. So I thought, I really want to ideally be a present parent. That's my whole thing. Otherwise, I think, what's the point of having kids? I know obviously you've got to work and things cost money. I get it, but I just think if possible, I want to be there, not leave before they wake up and come home so late that they're basically in bed already. I mean, that's a bit rubbish. So I'm doing this to think, well, maybe it could potentially one day be like a full-time thing. And obviously handmade is a lot of work, but you then can have the freedom to do it whenever. And I generally do this when they've gone up for their bedtime, or weekends when nothing's going on and we're not out and they're just at home. Then I can like do a bit of this, and of course, like when they're asleep again at weekends, I can crack on. But there's only so much time, right, that I can make, and so I kind of reached the limit of what I can make in all this supposed spare time. But yeah, so the thought is one day I'd like to be able to just do it full time. There's another. I need more boxes. There's another issue there, is that can I make enough? Yeah, then sell enough. Can you make and sell enough for that income after taxes and fees and all the rest of it to replace the day job? So I'm quite lucky with my current employer. They're very flexible, and Fridays I only work Mondays to Thursdays, and less hours. Obviously, some people compress their hours, 4 week hours, into 4 days, but I just do 80% worth. So that gives me Fridays to work on the business. But then quite often that time is just used up with life stuff, because I want to go to the gym. So I go to gym Friday morning after dropping off my daughter, and then there's always something like appointment or whatever, or something will happen. So very rarely I will spend that whole of Friday working on the business. If I'm lucky, once I get back from the gym, then I'll crack on. But anyway, such is life, and I'm sure once the kids are a bit more independent, that won't be along for a while, though, because they'll still need driving everywhere for a fair while. But anyway, that's fine. But where I was going with it is I want to see if I can make that leap. But I don't know if that would be anytime soon. But, if not, then it's still some extra income, which used to be great. It used to be a lot, but now the costs of everything have gone up, so I don't feel it's like, it's needed. I think if I wasn't doing extra, so it's basically a job plus, it'd be like pretty tight, I think. So it's worth doing anyway if I've still got a day job, just to have that extra income. So I've been looking at maybe, which is the whole camera strap thing, maybe obviously not on Etsy, but building another brand and reselling stuff, and that could be a way to supplement Handmade. Or the dream would be to have a workshop and have some staff, or like one staff member, one employee, I should say, to help make or pack or whatever. But then that's another level, because then you've got you have to have insurance and the rent for the business premises. So yes, you could make more, but then would you actually see more money, because your outgoings, your expenditure for the business would be that much higher, right? And then when you hire someone, you can't be like, I'm just going to pay you in the sales. When there's no sales, you don't get paid. You have to pay them regardless. So yeah, but you never know. I'm sure there are lots of handmade companies that have kind of made it as such and scaled up. But yeah, that would be the best, to have a workshop, and then you can imagine our house just has my like craft stuff everywhere, plus the kids' toys everywhere, and it's just mental. So it'd be nice to just have it. But then again, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because then I would have to go somewhere, and the whole point is to be present. So actually, it's probably better just to be at home. And then even if I'm making, you can just stop. You're around. It's different to like if you're totally, away somewhere, and you're not even in the same building anymore. Yeah, so that's kind of like the long-term plan. So I want to see if and that's how kind of Peggy Pick started the whole photo display. That's one of my hobbies. Is I really like photography, and I've never really been able to pursue it properly. Like, I really love to do some like proper portrait photography, and like get models and do photo shoots and stuff. So that's what I thought. I'll do a camera strap, which you might think is a bit random, but I bought my daughter a camera for her upcoming birthday. It's a used Micro Four Thirds, but she started to like doing selfies and making videos and stuff, and she's got like some toy cameras, but they're just they're fun, but they're a bit of a waste of time. Like the memory she captures, they're not really good to keep. So I thought I'd get her a proper camera. It's still really small, but it didn't come with a strap, so I thought, I need to buy a strap. And then I thought, well, when you look at all these straps, you just get a picture and it's hard to see like the size and all the rest of it. So I thought maybe I'll do something where I kind of test out the straps and only offer stuff that's good, or show it on appropriate cameras, and then and that's another thing. I find the social media side for these art displays really like difficult. Not in that it's difficult to like take photos and but just the topic. It's like they're stuck to the wall, and it's like kids art or photos. It's like, how many takes can you do on that? And yeah, I could maybe go down the route of showing how to make stuff, craft ideas, but loads of people do that, and again that's another time thing, isn't it? And then it's going to be the kids have got to be wanting to be doing it, and as they say, never work with children or animals, because they're just unpredictable. They might not want to do it when you want to do it, and then you're stuck. So I just thought with like the camera straps, there's more scope to do different things, and I've already started like with an Instax camera just to go around the days I'm in London for my day job to take some video of me getting a shot of some sort of something. It's just a bit more variety, but we'll see how it goes. Again, this is all yet to happen, but yeah, unfortunately, because of the whole Etsy being no reselling, we're not supposed to be reselling, I don't want to obviously break the rules, because I'm looking, well, I've been with them for a fair few years now, and I want to carry on that relationship for as long as it's feasible. So don't give them any reason to boot you off, basically. And yeah, and also if something happens to this art display company and the camera accessories stuff was linked to it, then it will go. So it's better to have them separate, I think. But it does make it challenging, because then it's like a whole nother website, a whole nother social media accounts and the rest of it. But we'll see. There's no free lunch. Always got to put in the effort, and we'll see. Like when I started with this, I didn't know if there would be any takers, but yeah, it's doing all right. So I think if you want to try something, try it. If it doesn't, obviously don't go into massive debt or anything to get started, but if it's something you can test out at a reasonable, without it being too risky, and that will be up to you, like how much you're prepared to to risk testing something out. But yeah, if you test it out, you can be you might be pleasantly surprised. And yeah, that's one thing. They kind of say test first before you invest a lot, and sometimes you get carried away and you order loads of stuff before testing. So definitely just see if there's demand before you kind of go all in. That's what I say. So maybe tomorrow, yeah, I think I need to put the gold stars in. But yeah, I'll definitely get this week a shipment off to Amazon, and then we'll see how long. Because as I was saying before, the slowness might have been the time of year, but March, it's not. Has anything happened in March? We've had Valentine's, we've had Mother's Day now in the UK. We're coming into spring, so I want to see if there'll still be take a long time to replenish. Alright, well I think I will pause here because I've still got these stars and clouds, and then I've got to make the boxes and put them in and do pegs. So I've got cardboard strips that I put pegs on, and then they got to go into here. So I'm not going to show you all of that because it'd be very repetitive. So yeah, I'll see you again when something different happens. Okay, bye. Okay, so we're back. The gold stars I had to spray. Might have a little clip actually of me spraying them. Are dry, and I've stuck them on to the wooden blocks, and then now I've got to add the pegboards into each box. I don't know. I haven't cleaned my airbrush for quite a few months now, which is a bit bad, but it finally got really blocked, and it took a really long time to spray the 8 gold stars. So I spent the rest of the evening dismantling it, putting it in like a sonic water bath, all the bits, and then cleaning. So hopefully the next use will be better. So we'll see. Stick these in. Where should I put these? Put these here. So it was a bit of a coincidence that I had yesterday, because I noticed a message come from Seller Central for Amazon, and I just thought, oh, it's another one of their kind of initiatives or changes, because they like to change things up, and then you have like so long to comply, or they tell you about how much warehouse space you've got for, I don't know if they do that monthly or quarterly, things like that, which is quite helpful. And not that I'd ever kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, never say never, but at the moment I don't see myself getting near to the quota, especially these things are so small. What other messages they can give? They also give you kind of low stock notices, which is good. Quite often I'm like, yeah, I know it's low stock, I just haven't been able to replenish. Yeah, so basically I didn't really think much of it until I looked later. I was like, oh, what's this message? And it's actually from a customer, and one side of their display had fallen off the wall a short while after they stuck it up. So this can happen for a number of reasons. I mean, these sticky strips, as good as they are, they don't work on absolutely every. Think how many formulations of paint and all kinds of surface finishes. Sometimes it's just not going to work, isn't it? I mean, it's just how it is. So, but out of, I can't remember how many it was now, 100 and something displays that have kind of the Amazon style, I call it, sticky strip, strong one. This was the first time that that a customer had reached out saying, oh, their thing had fallen off, their display had fallen off. So I was like, and they wanted, they're quite nice about it. They're like, oh, I think it's something wrong with the strip. Can you send a replacement? And I was like, well, because you've bought through Amazon, you're their customer. I can't do anything. So I said, you please contact the customer care or customer services even, or usually you go to your orders in your account and you can kind of set up a return exchange or that kind of thing. And I said, I'm replenishing stock, which I am right now, but I don't know when it will take a little while for it to become available. And then the next message they wrote back actually was, is there any other strip you can suggest that I can try? So I was like, oh, actually, yeah, there's. I've had in the past where all kinds of strips hasn't seemed to have worked for one customer. I don't know why, and she's bought many like bunny displays, and so we kind of worked together to say, well, what's up with your wall, because like this one's been stuck for years. They either stay stuck up or they will fall off. It's kind of one way or the other. And so I wrote back suggesting no more nail strips, which I think are another level of stickiness altogether. And I haven't heard back, so hopefully that is, hopefully they want to kind of rescue their display and not return it, because obviously, as I was saying earlier, any kind of returns is seen as like a defect on your account, and you kind of get marked down for it. So, and it will happen. I mean, stuff happens, stuff gets damaged, stuff doesn't work. I mean, even though it's handmade and I check everything, that is actually the kind of critical thing is the sticky pads, because there's just so many surfaces that someone might try and stick it onto, and it could just happen that it's not compatible, and that's it just won't stick. So where was I going with this? Okay, so I put in a little letter. Maybe I put a screenshot of it, easier for you to see. And it's just like, thanks for choosing Peggy Picks, and I just explained that I'm a small handmade business, family business, and your support really means a lot, which it does. And then I'll just say, hope you enjoy using your display, and I'd be grateful if you could kindly leave a review. And then I put this, and I think this is quite important, which is why I kind of recommend adding this little letter, is to say, if you have any problems or questions, just, because this is Amazon's FBA one, I put, please contact Amazon customer services or email me, and I give my email address and I'd be happy to help. And then I just sign it off. I don't handwrite the whole letter, but just in ink, just sign it off with my name at the end. And I think this helps definitely with Etsy, just to like form that relationship and make people realize that I'm not some massive corporation churning hundreds of thousands of these things out. It's like, I've made it and I hope you like it, and if you have problems, then obviously I want to make it right. And usually I think this kind of avoids people going or they might still go and then when they calm down they think all right, let's get in touch with this person and get it sorted. So it definitely I think helps to form that relationship with your customer. And then if you have a problem, or rather if they have a problem, they can work together with you rather than kind of just leave you a rubbish review, and then that's not good. I thought I have, okay, I've put it up. So I include like an instruction sheet for every display, just like a safety notice and how to stick it up properly. I don't know if people actually follow it, probably not, but anyway, it's there. And it just has a picture of each display. So I've added, so this is again Amazon specific instructions because of the different type of strip, and I've added just a sentence about 1, 2, 3, 4, check I've got enough pegs, about making sure that if your wall's just painted, to leave it a week or two to dry properly before trying to stick your display up, because I've had a couple of times now where I couldn't work out why a customer's display was falling off until they said, we've just redecorated our kitchen and just repainted. And I was like, okay. So, and depending what the weather's like, at the moment it's really cold and wet and quite damp, so I think paint takes a while to dry. But anyway, even in the warmer months, you should give it like a week for the paint to fully cure and dry, and then that just stops any moisture that's coming out of the wall kind of upsetting the adhesive on the strip, just to give it the best chance of sticking. So a couple of times now I've figured out with the customer that, it's one of the first things I suggest. I just say, no, by the way, have you just redecorated? And if they say yes, and if like, okay, and then I can just send them some extra strips, or they're happy just to go and get whatever strip. It's not a special strip that they want to use, and then that's it. So I think mostly that does the trick. So each one gets the instructions. And then, see, for Etsy orders, I always include like a little tea bag, just like a little freebie. It's just something fun. Because in my instructions, I actually say at the end something like, once sit back and admire your handiwork once you've put up your display and your kids' art or your photos, depending on what you bought. So, and then I was going to stop it. I was going to stop including these tea bags, and then people keep in reviews. They're so excited. Well, not everyone, obviously, but quite often people will be so excited by the little tea bag and my notes. I was like, I should really keep it, because now people reading will be like, I'm going to get a tea bag. And it's just organic English breakfast tea, which I guess in England is quite common, but if you're from abroad, overseas, this is something quite fun. It smells quite nice. I just use normal bulk tea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I don't normally add that for Amazon, so I'm going to add them now, and hopefully it's okay, because it's not a fresh produce or anything. Find some space to put all these things. Don't mind me. So I add with the instructions my little notes and little thing. And I think, if you're going to be a handmade business, then that's kind of your advantage, is you can try and connect with the seller to say, I've actually made this, even if it is a relatively like simple craft like what I do, and just little touches like this. It could be stickers, it could be, I don't know, when I bought soaps before, they've given like little offcut of some random bar for you to try, and when I've got like some crystals for my daughter, they give like I've had a little bonus stone in the package, and it's just nice, isn't it? They don't have to put that, and it's just, you just think, and then just makes you happy, and that's what we want. We want happy customers, and we want return customers. So I think sometimes it can pay off, and then you might go, well, this is extra money, it's eating into my profits, but it's I think it's worth it. And I think also it helps to motivate. It motivates reviews. I don't ask, apart from here, I ask for some feedback. I don't message people, because I think with the platforms now, like definitely Etsy, definitely Amazon, they ask you about your purchase. How would you rate your purchase? What do you found of your purchase? And all this. Can you, think about leaving a review to help the seller. So I'm like, well, they're doing that anyway. I don't want to then pester. Again, because I think if people are going to leave a review, they're going to leave a review, aren't they? If they have the time and they want to, they will. I think we get bombarded with so much emails now. Like, even if you buy from like a retail store, they're like, rate us on Trustpilot or this and that, or review your purchase, and it's just become like, you just don't see it anymore. It's just so all the time, and I'll only like if I've had really good service, then I'll go out the way and leave a review. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's the last one. So I've got 8 displays going this time, which seems to be usually about the number I send off. It just happens to be a reasonable number. So what I have to be careful now is, so definitely if you've ever bought anything off Amazon, you'll have noticed, or not, they have a specific barcode requirement for their stock keeping system, I suppose. So every product has its own unique code. I want to say FNSKU number. Let me just see if I'm talking rubbish. Yeah, FNSKU number. So there's an ASIN which appears on a product page at the bottom somewhere. But there's also this number that goes on this barcode label. So I'm going to do, and they don't make any sense to me, so on the back of my printouts I've written what the sticker relates to, because there is a description, but because all mine's like kids art display, everything's a kids art display, so, and then it usually cuts off before it gets to the bit that actually tells me which display. So 1, 2, 3, I'll just check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, check the pegs. So that goes in there. Make sure my label's down. And then I put it into this poly mailer. So I'm trying to minimise the amount of plastic in my products, and I haven't quite yet found a suitable mailer, because when I started off with like thick paper envelope, and that was a bit of a disaster because in the US one customer sent me a photo and it was just the empty envelope, because obviously paper rips, right, and they can be quite rough with the post, and I guess amongst all the other bigger packages things can get, just make sure that's the right one, things can get damaged. And yeah, it was just an empty envelope, so I soon stopped that, because I'm like, oh, if that's happened once, it's going to happen like more. So let me do the blocks. 2, 3, 4, 5, check the pegs. So yeah, I've bought some before, and I'm just a bit skeptical as to whether they are actually. You see, there's two types of biodegradable. There's ones which are actually still plastic, and they put a accelerator to speed up the decomposition. And I'm like, well, doesn't that then just end up with loads of microplastics? Because the bag's not there anymore, but just it's broken up into loads of microscopic particles. So that's no good. Because these plastics they're even finding them like in our water and in our bloodstream, and it's a big problem. So I do want to go. There's cellulose-based ones, and you'll know if you get one of them, because they're a bit tacky and they smell a bit sweet because it's made out of cornstarch, I think. But they have like a shelf life, and they basically, I think, start degrading really quickly, and especially for like Amazon's warehouse, they might be there for quite some time, and I don't want the bag to start disintegrating, because then it's just not going to be good, isn't it? So I'm on the lookout to find a better solution. And I had in Australia, there's Hero Packaging. I don't know if they're in the UK, and they will ship to the UK, but I'm like, oh, it's really far to be sending the packaging. It's kind of offsetting the whole, trying to be ecologically sound sort of thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But yeah, I bought a camera strap from can't remember. Oh, Lucky camera straps, a nice like leather strap, and which I don't really get a chance to use because it's for this camera actually, which is always on a tripod. So yeah, and it came in a Hero Packaging biodegradable bag. I was like, oh, that's really good quality, but so I want something like that. I want something that's actually going to be durable and not just fall apart, or actually just be not renewable. So I don't want if it's just a plastic bag, then I might as well just use a plastic bag. So I need to be careful because I'm talking. 1, 2, 3. I'm talking. I want to make sure so this is a gold star. Oops. I want to make sure that obviously I put the right display in the right label. Otherwise, that would be a headache. You'll have to, I think, withdraw all the stock and recheck it and then send it back. And in the meanwhile, I bet some unlucky customer will get the wrong thing. And that happens sometimes. I've bought stuff and you get some completely random item. Like, no, that's not what I bought. So this one is the white clouds. So So, alright, gold star's done, so just put that out of the way so don't confuse it. White clouds, alright. Put that in. Yeah, so I never know, because Amazon, I think people are just used to getting their stuff just chucked in a box with a bit of paper, or coming in, now they're using these like paper bags, thick paper bags, and I guess that's what they expect. They're not expecting anything more. They just want their stuff, right? You want your stuff quickly and at a reasonable price. So I'm interested to see if there's any kind of positive response to the tea bag, but it's just a bit of fun, isn't it? It's not, doesn't really matter one way or the other. But it'd be nice to, you know, even if people don't write, I think loads of people, I think the reviews are kind of like a representation of like all your customers, because most people just won't review, or don't ever get around to reviewing, like me. What clouds? Teal stars. Sorry, I just need to make sure I'm getting the right label for teal. Oh, this actually has teal on the label. That's good. Teal stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So if you can see your reviews as kind of a representation of your overall customer base and their happiness or otherwise, then I think there'll be people that, you know, like the note and the personal touch and the little tea bag. And if it's a customer on another platform, like say Etsy, if they have bought a lot, or they are a repeat customer, and sometimes repeat customer, it can take them years to be a repeat customer, which I'm guessing if they've done art display, maybe they've got one child and they've got one or two, and then maybe later like a sibling comes along and they need more display space, and they can come back. So I think, you know, repeat customer doesn't mean that it's going to be a fast thing. It can be later. I need to choose a nice label. Some of these labels didn't print well. So yeah, for the time being, these mailers at least will keep, you know, if they get rained on a bit, or I don't know, like the warehouse is dusty, maybe, is it humid? I have no idea. But they're not gonna like air condition and control like the whole massive warehouse. They'd have to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. White. So white stars. Good. Double check. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. So the repeat customers. Sometimes on the other platforms, I'll give some extra pegs or just something extra, just to make them happy, because why not? Oh, it's back. Can't get into it. Oh, just get that. Alright, so that was the post lady. Very friendly post lady. You could smell my lunch and say, "Oh, I smell food." So apparently she'll have her lunch when she gets home after her shift. So there you go. Just in case you wanted to know that. And now, in the meantime, I've forgotten what I put in here. I think it's the white clouds. But I'm going to double check. Oh no, it's white stars. And that's... Oh my goodness. No, that's the thing. Now I've taken the sticker protector label off. It's going to try and stick to the box. Try and get it in. Yes. White stars. Yeah. Two more. So this is Grey Stars. Interesting. What's this one then? Oh, that's another gold one. Okay, just do the grey first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Grey Stars. Go. Okay. Choose good label. Grey Stars. And then last one is Gold Stars again. Oops. Okay. I need to find my Gold Stars again. Gold Stars, this one. You can see Gold Stars is the one I sell most of. And it seems to be universal, so it's quite good because Etsy, it's quite easy to list stuff up. So you can try a listing for like 15 pence, 20 cents, and you'll soon know if if people like it. And then on your other places, if you sell on many different places, which I recommend, not to have all your eggs in one basket, then this is a Amazon box I kept. Send their packaging back to them. So it should be, take the label off. It should be big enough. If not, I'll have to get another box. But yeah, make sure when you're sending things off that there aren't any other random barcodes on that could confuse the system. That's the paper, so I can just put in. Yeah, that'll fit. And I'll put the paper around it. But before I tape it, I just want to set up a what do you call it? What do they call it? Let's see what they actually call it. Shipment. Yeah, send to Amazon. So in Seller Central, you can click send to Amazon, and then I'll basically check off all the displays and the number of displays I'm sending them. And then we've got to measure, weigh, and put buy the postage label and stick it on, and then go and drop it off. Okay. Okay, so I've done my sending, what do you call it? Manifest? Shipping list. Put the paper around that. They're not breakable anyway, so as long as the little paper gives it some cushion. But what I never get is when you do the list of stuff you ship, they list out on your products, I'm off the screen now, F and SKU number, and those are the ASIN. No, they put the ASIN number, but on your label it's the F and SKU number. So I get really paranoid, especially when there's different items, because there's 6 different products I'm shipping, so you don't want to get them mixed up. I'll put my scissors. So then I have to click on, maybe there's a way to change it, I don't know, but I then have to click on the products so that it comes up with the actual product page, and then I can check to make sure it's what I think it is. And maybe like with time and you get used to your numbers, it's easier. But no, I've only shipped 100 and something over like a couple of years, so for Amazon that's not really a very big number at all. So just take I might just put a bit extra, because you never know, like it's probably going to end up under a whole load of other boxes and stuff. Just make sure there's no popping open. Yeah, because I think if stuff gets damaged in the warehouse, you do get reimbursed, but even so, when you make the stuff yourself, it's kind of your time's just gone down the toilet. Plus the wastage, I think, waste and returns is quite a big issue. So if we can help to avoid any kind of unnecessary things being chucked away, that's got to be good. So yeah, and then I think if I get some more time, the plan is to make my Amazon shopfront a bit more appealing, because I think it's a bit, I can't even remember, it's been a while since I just put up a few very simple pictures, but I don't know if Canva nowadays has some templates for the Amazon banners. I can use that to just do a quick refresh. Alright, I can start packing apparently. I've done that. Everything will fit into one box. Confirm. And now I've got to give the dimensions of my box. It's in cm. Yes. So just do 41. Staring box. 41 by 32 by let's just say 12. Always give a bit extra. And then I've got to weigh the box in kilos. 807 grams, so just 1 kg then. Double check. That's 2 grams. Not that 2 grams is going to make much difference. Yeah, 805, so 1 kg will cover that for sure. Confirm packing. 1 box. Confirm and continue. And then when am I going to drop it off? Later today, hopefully. Let's put that. Yeah, so using UPS is £2.46, which is pretty good. For a courier, next working day or so, it's pretty good. You couldn't get that if you went Amazon, I don't think, or some massive retailer. Okay, let me just make sure. Last check. 8 units, 6 SKUs, 1 box, 1 kg. Confirm shipping. So yeah, that's the good thing. Although you don't have to deal with the packing and shipping when the order comes, you've got to obviously put all that effort in of making up front to send off. So it works doing quieter times, because then I can, instead of maybe making like fresh orders that have come in, I can restock. So it's kind of self-limiting for me, because I only have so much spare time in the evenings and weekends mainly. I fit in and stuff that's already been paid for, because Etsy is essentially like a prepay, isn't it? They buy it and make it basically like within a day or two and ship it out. Oh, the doves are back. Oh, I would move the camera to show you, but I reckon that would scare them off. Just sitting on the window feeder. Oh, just even me moving has made them go off. Okay, so get the address label, slap that on over the old one, and then you've got to put their kind of FBA barcodes. Let's put that on here somewhere. Okay, so that is kind of the end. I'll end it here for this vlog of restocking Amazon Handmade shop. So if you've got any questions, any tips, yeah, do leave them in the comments. And until next time, yeah, thanks for watching. Bye for now.